Hi and welcome to another video in our Law of Attraction and Manifestation series. So I can't do a series of videos about Law of Attraction and Manifestation without talking about the thing that most people want to manifest in their lives, and that is money. So as we all know, money makes the world go round in that we need it to pay for the things that we need in order to live. So the roof over our head, the food we eat, the heating systems that we eat to keep us warm, the clothes we wear, all costs money. It's pretty hard to escape money, okay, in this world. So you can either have enough money to cover your needs and wants and desires, or you can be in a situation where money isn't coming in and you don't have enough to cover all of your needs, wants and desires. And it depends what end of the spectrum you are in as to what your attitude around money will be. And you know, full disclaimer, I have had situations where I've been on both ends of the spectrum, so I've had lots of money where I have genuinely not known the price of a loaf of bread, and I've been in situations where I've been literally counting the potatoes because I haven't got enough food to feed myself and my family. So, I completely understand the mindset around having not enough and having more than enough, right? So when you're watching a video about money mindset or you're watching a video about manifesting money, you're normally coming from a situation where you want more, okay? And when you want more, you're also telling the universe that you don't have enough. So some of that mindset shift is really important to start with that in order for you to bring more money into your energy and into your life, okay? So what I specialise in is mindset and mindset shift. So let's have a look at the money situation and the money mindset. What is a money mindset? Well, your money mindset is made up of all the beliefs and feelings that you have about money. And you can either have a scarcity mindset or an abundance mindset. Most of us do fall somewhere in between the two, dependent on our experiences with money. If you believe that there is not enough money, you'll tell yourself continually that money is tight and you'll never have enough to meet your needs. You've got negative thoughts about money, or negative thoughts about people who have money, then the chances are that you have got a scarcity mindset. However, if you feel that there is enough money to go around, you trust that even though you need to spend money on something, it will come, there will be more money coming to you, and everything's going to be okay. And you do not give money too much power over your life, then you're going to be having an abundance mindset. And whether you realise it or not, you already have money beliefs that influence the way that you think about money. And these beliefs might be as a result of something that happened in childhood or the way money was thought about when you were growing up. And think about the phrases that you may have heard around you when you were growing up around money. And I know certainly from my personal experience, I heard all of these. Money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford it. And I grew up feeling that money was such an important thing to acquire because it made a difference. It made a difference to my childhood, whether or not we had the things that I wanted, all dependent on the money that we had as a family, right? And I also kind of grew up with this a kind of belief system that it's really hard to get money, it's really hard to acquire money, and people who have money are not really nice people because they've had to do something probably quite evil in order to get money. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? And whilst I don't consciously believe those things, I actually had to kind of really unravel all of that to understand where my money blocks were coming from. So the first thing you need to do when you're looking at trying to manifest money into your life is look at, well, if you're trying to manifest money in your life and it's not coming to you so easily, then let's have a look at your mindset and look at what the blocks may be around your mindset about money. So think about that. Think about how your belief system within money has been shaped and formed, and what are the things that you think of either consciously or subconsciously. How do you get to that information? Well, one of the things is you start to have to really dig deep and think back and ask yourself some questions about how you feel about money. What kind of feelings come up for you when you're thinking about money? when you identify your money mindset and you identify what end of the spectrum you are on, then you can start to change your money story. And what I would say, I mean, I've got some tools that I'll talk about at the end, but, you know, this is a really important step, and it's a step that nobody really does. They just feel that they can skip to the good bits and the money will flow. No. One of my favourite sayings, I say this all the time, and I'm sure if you're following me on all my social media, you'll be so sick of hearing me say it, is there is no juice without a squeeze. You have to do the work. There are no shortcuts. You're going to find life very difficult to manifest the things that you want, very difficult if you try to take shortcuts. Because in order for you to get to where you want to get to, you're going to have to uncover some of the things and remove some of the limiting beliefs that you have. And that when you do that, the level of growth you achieve will take you to the next level, and you will get the abundance that you're looking for. So when you need to, first of all, you need to look at what your money mindset is and identify what that money mindset is. And then you need to look at how we can change your money story. Before you can change it, though, you need to know what it is first of all, right? So the next thing we do is we need to change your story. So we know what our money story is. We've identified where some of these beliefs are coming from. How do we change it? So it's an important part of changing anything that's holding you back in life, not just about money, but about every aspect of your life. But because we're talking about money today, we need to change that. We need to change the story that you're telling yourself about money. Okay, so think about the things that you have been told since childhood, the belief systems that you hold subconsciously and consciously, and if you've done the work up to now, then you're going to know what they are. Money isn't evil. It's not out to get you. It is just energy. It actually has no value other than the value you attach to it. And it has no meaning until you attach meaning to it. And people tend to blame money or the lack of money for all of the problems that they're experiencing in their lives. And the sooner you come to terms with the fact that money is just energy, it's not here to do anything to you negatively or positively, it's all about your perspective around that, the sooner you're going to be able to change your mindset around money. The first and most important thing I would say is you need to start operating from an attitude of gratitude. And this again, you know, this applies to every aspect of your life. Gratitude is massively important. And if you've been following me on social media, you know that, you know, following things like the Magic 28-Day Challenge is a gratitude program, a gratitude exercise that we do over 28 days. Things like that really help you get in the energy of gratitude if you're really struggling. Because it is easy to focus on all the things that are going wrong in life. You know, I've been there. And regardless of whatever your financial situation is now, you're probably more likely to focus on the bad, on the lack, rather than the good and the abundance that you do have around you. So you may spend a lot of time worrying about debt or going over budget within your household bills, but you never really give any thought to all the good things that money has done for you. So this is an important step for you to take, really. When you're starting to change your money story, we need to change our mindset around it and start being grateful for the things that we have. So whatever your financial situation is, you need to find a way to be grateful. And I know there are things to complain about. I have been in that situation. But actually, you have to dig deep sometimes. Sometimes you have to really take it back to bare bones and basics. But actually finding the gratitude in everything is going to be a good way of you getting into a vibration of receiving and manifesting. And if you're not grateful for things you've got now, you're not going to manifest more into your life. So think about all the things that you perceive as being negative around money in your life and look for the gratitude within that. Look for the positive spin on that, okay? And really tell yourself those things. And not just tell yourself, feel it and believe it too. You've also got to learn to love your money. So people can be really weird about money, and I'm from the UK, and so this is kind of really prevalent here. We don't talk about money. We are, it's considered a bit poor form to tell people how much you earn, for example. It's conceived, a bit crass to be telling people that you've bought or you spent this amount of money on something. And people always have a judgment, don't they? They always think you're either being frivolous or you're being tight. They've always got labels that they can attach onto you because of the way that you operate around money. And so what this makes us do is close off and not talk about money. And we're kind of conditioned to think that we shouldn't really love money. But why wouldn't we love money? Money gives us the opportunities to do the things we want to do. It isn't evil. People do evil things with or without money, right? It's the people that are spending the money or using the money that have evil things attached to them. It's not the money itself, okay? Remember, money has no meaning unless you attach the meaning to it. So this is something that you need to sort of get over, really, and really dig deep around that. Like, what are your thoughts about talking about money? Are you embarrassed about telling people how much you earn? Or maybe not embarrassed, but do you feel there's a certain secrecy about that? Why? Why is that so important? Do you feel like, if you were to tell people how much you earn, that would be some kind of negative? Did you feel that means that you're bragging about your situation? I mean, I think it's quite interesting where, most people are very comfortable with telling people that they haven't got enough, but you never ever hear anybody say, I've got more than enough money to cover my needs. There's very few people that vocalise that. Maybe we need to change that, yeah? Change the way that we feel about money. The other thing to do is don't hide away from the money situation. Find out what is your income, what's coming in, what's going out, what is your money situation. I know certainly I would do this, is that, if I had lots of debts that I had to pay, or I kind of knew that, the money coming in doesn't actually cover the things that need to go out, I would bury my head in the sand and not really look in the bank account, not really look at a budget, not really even try to identify how I could save or accumulate more money, because I just kind of didn't want to be faced with the actual problem. So this is an exercise in you facing the situation head on. So you've got an understanding of the situation. So maybe complete a budget tracker. Find out what you're spending your money on. Are you spending your money on the things that you need to and want to? Or are you wasting a lot of the money on the things that you don't need and want? Is there any way that you can change that? Because basically what you actually need to figure out how to do if you want more money is how are you going to either reduce the amount that's going out of your account, or how are you going to be able to increase the amount that's coming in. Sometimes we just focus on increasing the amount that's coming in, but we ignore the fact that we're probably paying out for things that we don't need to. It's not going to be for everybody, right? But you actually need to understand what your money situation is, look at it regularly, review it regularly. Don't be afraid of it. Because what you're telling the universe is, I don't want to know. I don't want to know this situation, and I don't want to have money around me, because you've got blocks around the money, right? So that's another tip for you in how you can change your money story. The other thing around that is setting goals around your money. Okay, so what are your financial goals? How are you going to achieve them? What steps do you need to take in order to achieve them? Do you have money goals? And if not, why not? The best thing is putting the energy to the things that you want to bring into your life. A lot of people don't actually want to manifest money. They want to manifest the things that they can use the money for. I'm yet to meet a person who wants money in their lives just so they can put it in a corner of a room and stare at it all day long. That's not what we want money for. What does the money mean to us? What will it do for us? What will we spend it on? Those are the things that you need to set in terms of your goals, right? It's not your job to know how, it's your job just to set the dream and look for the opportunities. The other thing I would say is to watch your language around money. And this is a massive one for me in terms of when my children ask for things, or when I'm looking to get things or things that I want, I would always say, I can't afford it. Don't have the money for that, right? So it's about putting the energy out that you can't afford it. So that's not going to change. You know, when you think about the law of attraction, you're just having that reflected back to you. So if you're saying, I can't afford it, that is what you're going to be. You're not going to be able to afford it. You're never going to be able to afford it, because that's the energy that you've put out there. So change the language around that. What can you use instead to, other than I can't afford it? Because what I will say is that the reality is sometimes you have not got enough money to pay for the thing that you want or you're being asked to pay for. You may not have the money in the bank account to cover that expense. So that would mean, okay, I cannot afford that. But you could even say, I cannot afford that right now. That would be marginally better. But reframe that language that you're using and maybe say, it's not in the budget right now, or that's not a priority for me right now, because the other things that you have to pay for are more of a priority. So, for example, if you need to buy a new electrical item for your home, but it's a nice to have, it's not an essential, and that, you know, in order for you to be able to buy that, you would need to maybe not pay a bill that would be an essential. So let's just say, for example, you have a water bill that's £100, but you want to buy a new kettle that's £100. You've got to prioritise one thing over the other, don't you? You can afford both. You can't afford both at the same time, but you can afford one or the other. Which one are you going to prioritise? So it's up to you, like there's no judgment. If you prioritise the kettle, then you know you're not going to be able to pay the bill. So it's all about how you're prioritising your money. So all you can say, rather than say, I can't afford to buy the kettle, or I can't afford to buy the bill, it's just saying, it's not a priority for me right now. Okay, and that's just a better way of putting it, and the energy is better because it's actually saying, it's not saying I can't afford this, it's just saying when the budget allows, I'll buy that. Okay, and that is going to shift mindsets around the money, and you're not going to be in this constant loop of saying I can't afford it. And I say this to my children, or did a lot, almost without even thinking. It was like almost a default response to anything that they asked for. Can't afford it, can't afford it, can't afford it. And I've changed that now. I'm trying to change the language around that, because I recognise that I don't want them to grow up with a negative money mindset, because they would have to do all the work that I've done to try and unravel mine. So there you go. There are a couple of tips there of how you can change your money story and change your money mindset to attract more money in abundance in your life. I have a lot more to add to that, but I do have a money mindset workbook. It's priced at $9.99, and I'll pop the links below. What that will do is allow you to really work on some of these issues that we've talked about in today's video. And there's also some other tips and tools and techniques that I use as well about getting you into an energy of receiving money. So please do click the link below if you want that. That's an instant download, $9.99. It will be the best investment you've made. I've had some amazing reviews from that for people who've used it and actually found it really, really useful for them to change their money story. And also, what's on offer, if you buy one of those money mindset workbooks and you want to talk to somebody, I can talk that through with you. I offer free 30-minute calls, and I can help you and guide you through the workbook and give you some tips and tricks and how to use it to manifest wealth and money into your life. So don't hesitate in getting in touch with me about that. But in the meantime, I will leave you now and see you in the next video. Bye for now.